What's up guys, Phoenix here. As promised in yesterday's video, this is going to be the shortened version with no explanation of the updated Dragunity deck profile for the July 16th, 2015 ban list. Dragon Ravine is at 2 and not 1, and there are some cards in here that are necessary for the combo that is going to be in the video that goes live later in the day. So, I run 15 monsters, which is the triple Dragunity ducks, which you need obviously, one copy of Zephyros, the one copy of Garuda, one copy of Harpy Harpist to ditch mid-combo. For the Dragon Tuners, the only Dragon Tuners are 3 copies of PhoenixFlareX, Acklys, and Legionnaire are too slow for this format to be in the main deck. For the rest of the Dragons, 2 copies of Dragunity Arma Mistleton, and 1 copy of Dragunity Arma Leviton. He is another further combo piece, as will be discussed in the video going out later today. And then the last dragon is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. And then the last 2 monsters are Hand Traps, 2 copies of Max C. That is 15 monsters, if I did not already say so. And the spell lineup is 2 copies of Dragon Ravine and 3 copies of Terraforming, so you can have 5 total copies. No pseudo space in this version because it is not needed. 2 copies of Dragunity Divine Lance, 2 copies of Cards of Consonance, 3 Upstart Goblins. I believe these to be mandatory in any Dragunity build going forth, unless we get another form of search card. 2 copies of Instant Fusion, not 3. 1 copy of Soul Charge, because unfortunately it is at 1. I wish this card had existed at 3 when Dragon Ravine was at least legal. 1 copy of Foolish Burial, and the last spell is Raigeki. That is 17 spells, only 1 of them is a non-combo card. MST is not in the main, because it is too unreliable going first, as I said in the previous video. For the traps, there are 8. There are 2 Call the Haunted for recovery purposes, 2 Mind Crush because it combos with Harpist putting cards in your hand, and it's also just heavily catered towards Necros, 2 copies of Fiendish Chain, and the 1 of Warning, and the 1 of Vanity's Emptiness. So that is the 8 traps. It's a 40 card deck, 37 if you want to be cute and say Upstart, makes it less. For the extra deck, 1 copy of Trinit Dragon because we're running Leviton, 1 Crimson Blader, 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Stardust Spark, and 1 Stardust are the only 8s. As I've touched on in the video, this might be getting swapped for a Thought Ruler if Burning Abyss picks up in the meta any further than they already have. For the staple Dragunity 6s, 1 Gatorg and triple Vajrayana, and then the instant fusion target is Mavelus. The extra deck is really tight, that is why there's only 1 in here. If the extra deck was any looser, I'd probably play 3 instant fusion and 2 Mavelus. For the Exceeds, there's 4 of them. There is 1 Felgrand for the combo, there's 1 Ptolemy, and then there are 2 Atums. You need the second Atum if you do the first turn Felgrand combo. If not, you can cut an Atum and cut the Felgrand and cut the Leviton from the deck if you don't want to do that combo, and you can just fit in 3 other cards. And if you cut the Leviton, you can also cut the Trinit Dragon from the extra and free up spots. That's completely up to you, but I have not had a reliable win rate against Necros without that. And in this video, to give you something extra, since it's short enough to do so, I'm going to be showing you my experimental side deck. 2 copies of Legionnaire and 1 copy of Acklys. As I said, they are not reliable in the main deck for this format. 1 copy of DD Crow, just because it's a searchable hand trap mid-combo if you have any other monsters that you can ditch. It's decent against Necros. You can DD Crow the 1 Shrit. You can DD Crow their Trish when they try to cycle play. You can do all that stuff. It's not the best, but it's still better than some. For spells, double Dark Hole, double Shared Ride, and double MST are in the side. I only did 2 MST because I didn't want to side too heavily for certain decks, and like a lot of the cards that are in this side deck are basically just blanket cards. Since you can't really be too generic with your side deck choices with this deck, because you don't want to side out a lot of side deck out a lot of your combo pieces, so you have to side deck very minimal, but a lot of like very impactful like blanket cards. For the traps in the side deck, it's just 3 copies of Royal Decree and 2 copies of Non-Fusion Area. These are obviously for dolls because Shaddoll Fusion always gets max value against this deck because you always have extra stuff out. Royal Decree for any like trap heavy decks like Burning Abyss. I didn't feel like Shadow Mirror was necessary or worth it because like against Satellars, against Burning Abyss, and against dolls. Against Tellers and Burning Abyss, I'm going to want Decree. Against Shaddolls, I'm going to want to put Non-Fusion Area plus a Stardust up, so Dragon isn't going to be able to out it by sending it to the grave. and the like. Maining the Mind Crushes, so Shared Ride is just like another Max C against Necros. Dark Holes obviously going against Klee and stuff like that, and these obviously go against anything that's slow-paced and rogue. But anyway, that is it for this shorter deck profile. Very minimal explanation. I wish I could do all my deck profiles like this. But anyway, as always, guys, remember to comment, rate, subscribe. The link to my Facebook fan page and my personal Facebook page where you can, send me a friend request, speak to me on a personal level. Both of those are going to be in the description. The Facebook fan page is obviously the one where I'm more likely to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Related things. But if it's in moderation, I do speak to a lot of my subscribers on my personal Facebook page if I have, just free time and I'm on my phone or whatever and they message me. I typically try to always at least respond once. So, don't be afraid to do that. And if you could, please click an ad if you haven't. I'd greatly appreciate it. I've already touched on my financial situation, and every little bit that y'all could do through that would help, but I would understand if you don't want to. But, as always, guys, take care.